Hey everyone, welcome to week 3 of Reading Literature for Future Teachers. I am continuing to have a great time reading through your ideas, making book recommendations. We have now finished fairy tales. We're almost done with our series book week. The make is coming up since this is Thursday. This will release tomorrow morning, the 12th, at 7 a.m. for week 3. Coming up is nonfiction books, and I just think these books are so beautiful. I mean, children's books, just in general, have come so far since I was a kid in the 70s. They're stunning. They're just absolutely stunning. And so I'm hoping you enjoy working with these. I'd like to be really intentional using the nonfiction to think about how you could use it for interdisciplinary work in your elementary school classroom. So these are perfect for combining with science lessons or math lessons or lessons about inclusion or those kinds of things. So like a social science or a kind of have your eye toward as you're doing these, like how you might use these in kind of an interdisciplinary way. Um, the other thing I think that you'll appreciate about this coming up week, and I will too, is we don't have as many responses. I decided to make it a little more reading and perusal heavy, just to also kind of give us a break from response, response, response. You guys have been doing a ton of writing. I'll say something about that in a second. So you're going to read a couple of articles from Language Arts, which is I mentioned this before, is a journal for elementary school teachers that you might actually be interested in subscribing to. I shared a link to National Council of Teachers of English, NCTE, which right now, as a student, if you want to join as an actual member, you can get the newsletter whether you're a member or not and keep up to date with what's going on in English language arts teaching, which I highly recommend. I joined as an undergrad 30 years ago or whatever and really kicked off my professional career. But as a student, I think the membership's like $30 in comparison. I think mine's $200. But it also allows you to subscribe to something like their journal, like Language Arts. There's also one for middle school teachers, Voices in the Middle, I think it's called. For me, there's College Teacher Edition, that's Conference on College Communication and Education. So lots of options across grade levels of journals. Anywho, we're reading 2 pieces from Language Arts that are specific to working with nonfiction books this week. And then I made some changes. I swapped some things out. So you might notice in our assignment sequence that titles changed, but I decided to go with Donald Miller's chapter 4, which has a lot of information about reading plans. And so I don't think you'll notice much of the difference of the changes I've made, but in case you had peeked ahead, yeah, I made some reading changes. And then you just have a response on Tuesday about your nonfiction book. I didn't give you time to read your nonfiction book, so it's a children's book, should take you 10 minutes. And then we'll have another make, which will be really focused on some options for how you can create things for your classroom. I want to encourage you with these makes to take some time. My picture in my head is they take you an hour and a half or 2 hours to actually do something cool with the makes. And I understand you're busy, but here's your one shot at reading literature for future teachers. I think that's it for that. The last thing I want to say, if you get this far in the video, is I made a comment in the announcement about just educator to educator that I'm a little fascinated by the fact that in the past, when I had these makes, and I would have a writing option. Maybe 2 people would take up the writing option of 35. Most people would do drawings or art or Pinterest boards or all kinds of multimodal things. Only 4 of you actually did something like that, and everyone else did the writing. So that's fascinating to me in the world of AI. And remember, I study digital literacy, so I think deeply about ChatGPT and AI and its influence on writing instruction. So, as I said in there, not a blame thing. I'm not going to reach out. I just don't want that relationship with students. I'm not going to reach out and accuse anybody of anything. But it is so clear to me that some of your entries are absolutely ChatGPT. Like, not a doubt in my mind. It's got all the features. And so I'm not giving long feedback on those. I don't want to play that game of did you use AI? Because you're adults and future teachers, and you got to actually know this stuff. So I'm not the one who's going to have a parent in front of me wondering why you don't know why you're teaching it that way. So that's on you. But it is, I spend probably 3 hours a morning giving feedback to y'all. So it is a little bit of a gut punch when I'm like, dang it, did I just give feedback to a robot? So I'm imploring you, I'd rather have messy drafts. I'd rather have typos. I'd rather have all kinds of issues than clean robot prose. So I'm just begging you to continue to do the work on your own. And many of you are. It is so clear. Like, oh my God, some of you are just such. Also, you've got a great gift for a little bit of creativity in these pieces too, and they are just a joy to read. So, thank you. Thank you so much for all the work. I truly mean it. I do feel like we're colleagues on here trying to do some interesting thinking. So, yeah, you're getting there. We're getting there. You've got nonfiction books, and then we'll move into an author study. That fourth week I've got pretty packed, so hang on to your pants. I got some pretty intense few days as a way to end. But you're good. You've been doing great. We're all doing good work. Okay, thanks everyone.